Hello, TRANSITIONAGE family. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon from wherever you are watching us. Now, today I have hijacked someone, and you see, we are even shooting late in the evening here in Uganda. But I hijacked him to share his story because he has an interesting story that you need to tune in, you need to focus and listen to very good and very well so that you understand what he has to say. I will let him introduce himself and give us the details of his story because I know him in ministry, he's my brother in ministry, and his biggest story that I know is his ministry journey. By his life story growing up, I am also going to hear it today for the first time. So from Kenya, we are pleased and happy to have you, Dr. Pastor G.
Thank you, amen to the doctor.
And when you see me different in this show, blame it on him. He has a great sense of humor with the other brothers he has come with from Kenya, and it gets the side of me out that I never knew about myself. So let's go right into the interview. Pastor G, please greet our viewers and introduce yourself, and then we get started.
Right. Hi. Thank you so much, TRANSITIONAGE family. As you've heard, my name is Reverend G, but if you want to prove it, you can send M-Pesa. My M-Pesa number, or my M-Pesa name is George Augustine Onado. Born and raised in Busia, Kenya. But I'm a chaplain with the prisons at the moment. So yeah, I'm so happy to be here actually in Uganda for a mission, and I was hijacked. So please, just know that I was hijacked. I'm not here peacefully. Some people are going to be called to, as she demands for. Is it how much? How many million?
Nothing at all.
Oh, okay, so I'm free, but yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to an impactful and something that will empower someone out there. Yeah.
So yes, we are going to go straight into the interview because of the time we are shooting this video. We want to be through when it is still, you people can still see us. So Pastor G, what was growing up like?
Growing up for me was kind of a good, and I didn't like so much the environment I grew up. First of all, I grew up with a single mom. My mom got me while she was still back at school, and so I grew up with her until around the year 2002 when she was remarried, or she got someone who married her, and my stepfather took us in like his own. So while my stepfather took me up, I'm at the moment I just got 30 years ago. It's 2 weeks ago. We are in New Year 2023. So by then, so my father took us in, and I grew up in rejection. The family that I went to live with kinda felt like being a child, a male child, and we know in African context, they felt like I'm going to take what belonged to their children. So it was a little bit hard for me to grow, but I loved the fact that my stepfather protected me. He was there for me. Whatever it was said by the brothers and the sisters, he was always there for me. Yeah, so I grew up in Busia, as I said, Busia, Kenya, and I used to come to Uganda. In Busia, Uganda, I've been to Majanji Beach. By then, we went to swim. Our Christmas we always spent in Majanji Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I went to primary school in Kenya. We call it class. I went from class 1 to class 8. And in Uganda. I think that's an O level or what, something.
That is primary.
Primary, yeah. So I grew up, understanding that life is there. I grew up knowing in Uganda there is a school called School Nguruwe. School Nguruwe, back in
Busia.
in Busia. So for me, we used to make a lot of fun to those who went to that school, because Nguruwe in Swahili means a pig. So,
you can imagine.
So, before I forget, this tea. So yeah, growing up, I grew up. At some point, I was a silent child until when I got to around class 5. It's when now.
Did you say silent? And G in the same time?
I was a very calm guy, a gentle person. Until now, I'm a gentle person and a very quiet person. She's trying to create a character that is not in me, but it's okay. So yeah, growing up was fun, but again also kind of struggling. Yeah.
Wow. And so you start school, you're done with your P7, P8 in Kenya. So this is a confused Ugandan, you see? Ugandan Kenyan guy here. Okay, so you finish P7, you go to
high school.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to a school called St. Mathias Busia High School, right at the border actually. And I love Uganda, because Uganda from Wednesday to Sunday is party. So while in St. Mathias, I used to cross the fence, jump over the fence. In Kenya, we call it Dunda. We used to go to a club called somewhere in Uganda, in Busia, Uganda. I only remember the DJ. The DJ was called DJ Charlie. So we used to go dance the whole night, come back to school. I was in boarding.
That is senior 1.
I began in senior 2. And in that season, as a young person, in that season, it's when I started understanding myself. Adolescent is now catching up with me. So I started loving, but it's not really loving. I'll say lasting for girls, And back in Busia, this is a name that you even don't know. You're knowing it here. I was being called Santos. So whenever you came to Busia and said, I want Santos, you'd be taken to my home, because they knew I was naughty, I was cheeky, I was everything. And the girls' schools that surrounded me, they knew me. Because in high school, I was a drama guy. So I was known for drama. And then 2, there is a time in Form 1, actually in Kenya, when in your Form 1, the first term, no one expects you to fail. No one expects you to fail exam. But I was among the bottom 10. So
you played a lot.
I was a joker, I was so naughty, and even teachers knew I would never succeed in that. Some teachers say, for 2 terms, the first 2 terms in my high school, I failed my exams, and they were like, dude, we are seeing no future for you. But in Form 2 now, Adolescent is catching up with me. Girls are all over because of the talent that I had. Girls wanted to be around me because I was so naughty, I was everything, So I kept on being in high school, and now in Form 3, funny enough, even my parents never knew. Only 2 of us, a friend of mine who knew. I met a woman on Facebook. She was from Mombasa, in the coastal area of Kenya. So I met her on Facebook, and I'm a street smart guy, very smart in the street. So I seduced the woman on social media, and boom, she became my, I was the guy. So at the age of around 14 years, I was dating a sugar man. And to me, that was very cool. To me, that was something to be proud of, because this woman kept on sending me money, pocket money. But what really made me grow and mature in it is that my mom was the kind of mom that you could not joke around with her. My mom, even my friends were very sensitive with my mom. They never my mom would just shout from a distance and you'd know that is Mama Santos coming, and everyone would disappear. So my mom was strict, but I was still, I thought I was smart.
That's why they think, yeah.
So Mama knew what I was doing and everything, but I think it was an age that I got to a point in high school that if I made a mistake, even the teachers didn't know what to do because I was so naughty. Yeah.
Now tell us more about this sugar mommy thing. You get to meet her, or it was just a Facebook thing?
It was a Facebook thing. So I was dating her, and my friend, she connected my friend to her friend. So we were dating these women. During the opening day, they would send us money. We go. So one day they said, we are coming to where you are. And I thank God that day he covered me, because that day, I remember when they came, they booked hotels and they were like, we are here. We need to see you. So every time I wanted to go, my mom gave me an assignment to do. Every time I wanted to go, my mom gave me an assignment to do. So my friend went, and when he got there, he was hesitant to fulfill their desires, like having sex with that woman. So I told him, you go, I'm coming, because my mom gave me a task, and my mom was this tough woman that you would not joke around with. So this woman, so I told so my girlfriend, my sweetie mama. So I told her, like, look, I cannot come, but let me try. Once I'm done with what my mom has given me, I'll be there for you. She told me it's okay, but my friend is coming. And she was like, yeah, sure, let him come. So the woman that my friend went to meet wanted to sleep with this guy. And I don't know what transpired. The guy came back and told me, George, don't go. Don't go. Don't go. And I was like, why? He was like, just don't go. And to our surprise, the guy was smelling urine.
Did they pour urine on him?
I don't know what happened, but later he took 2 weeks. He never told us what happened. But he was so down. Then one day he told me, like, you know what those guys did to me? I've seen a gun in my life. So they tried sleeping with him, and the guy was like hesitant and everything. And like they pointed a gun to him. And the guy, out of shock, he urinated on it.
What kind of... Oh, sorry.
So since then I stopped it. But again, growing up after my high school, because for us we go to form 4. So after my form 4, I was this, which I'm this hyper guy. Like, I'm always an outgoing person. I'm a go-getter. So after my high school, the second day after my exams, I got a job.
Hey, after senior 4.
After my senior 4, like...
You've not gone to college, you've not gone to...
I've not done anything. So I discovered I have a talent of broadcasting. So I got a job with a roadshow company. So I was just doing my roadshow and being paid per day. So I was this guy that I kept on. I'm a go-getter. But I stopped doing the sugar mommy thing for quite some time. What people don't know is that when I was in high school, I was so deep into masturbation. I was so deep into it.
How do you get to start this habit?
You start it as an idea. It's an idea. Like, maybe you're sitting with people and they're discussing it. So it comes to you like an idea, like, oh wow, so I can try it. So for me, I started when I was in class 7. So I started people, because for me, my friendship, I've not been having friends who are my age. I've always been having friends who are older than me. So you find that they started discussing it, and it was like a joke. And then I said, I'll try this at home. So I tried it with soap, and then it became something that I felt like it was satisfying me. I kept on doing it like it's for fun and everything. So in high school, I would even come out of a lesson to go satisfy myself when people would not know, you know. So in Form 3, it's when now my desk mate, actually he was my best friend in high school. His name is Dennis Musyoki. So Musyoki, the aunt was a pastor. So every time I went to visit Musyoki, I met the aunt, and the aunt was like, oh, How are you, my pastor? And I never liked that name. So I used to tell this guy, tell your aunt not to call me a pastor. I'm not a pastor. I will never be a pastor. Because back in my mind, I knew what I was doing. You know, and I grew up with the lust. Because from the masturbation thing now, you now start becoming lustful. You want to do the thing and everything. And actually, one of my cousins is the one who introduced me into sex. My cousin, she was at Campas. And mom, don't watch this.
It's shocking, eh?
So my cousin,
but it's liberating many out there.
Yeah. So my cousin, and this is something that is going on even to death. Cousins and cousins are sleeping together.
Incest,
the incest is something that is happening. So my cousin, one day she visited, and it happened that our parents were now out and everything. And she was at Campas, and she started giving me stories of how Campas is, of how things happen, of how free they are, and I was excited. By then I was informed too. So my first ever intimate kiss and everything happened with my cousin. And by then I was deep into masturbation, and it really crushed me, because after every, I would feel empty. So, but this aunt kept on calling me pastor. I never knew. Every time I preached on parade, teachers would get my mom and tell her like, oh, your son preaches very well. So it was something that I was really running away from it.
So how do you get even to preach? Have you come to Christ yet? How do you get to even preach?
By then or now?
By then.
By then, by then.
Assembly.
By then, I was still in the Catholic Roman Church. So the guilt was never in me. And don't get me wrong, the guilt was never in me, because I wasn't deep into, I was even an altar server. I was an altar boy. So I've served with priests, So the guilt was never in me. I was like, whatever, after all, God forgives and God knows. So God will have mercy on me. God will. So it never clicked in my mind that it's wrong. And it's not wrong because I'm not doing it, but it's wrong because the Bible says that my body is the temple of God. So I was actually, what is it called? I was actually messing up with the temple of God. So for me, and one funny thing, when you're masturbating with a lady in your mind. So I'm imagining I'm having sex with a woman. And even as a woman, if a woman is masturbating with a man in her mind. So for me, because I had this lots of women around me, so I would masturbate with them in my mind. So it really affected me so much. But by then they would tell me come and preach. I was like, oh, okay. I would do it with no guilt in me. After that, it's when I would have the guilt. Like, what is really happening? Yeah.
You are masturbating, you have become sexually active, and it has started with your cousin. So I can see that kind of confusion in you. And so after high school, you get a job. So you continue with studies, or for some time you're working?
I did the job, and in 2013 there were campaigns back at home. So I used to go for the road shows, the promotion kind of thing. So that was really something that I loved to do. But now people started prompting me like, hey, you need to go and do media course. Now remember, at this moment, I'm a born again person, but still the old me still speaks to me.
So how do you get born again?
I got born again. Now the mom kept on, the aunt to my friend kept on calling me pastor. Now one day I was kind of possessed in school, so I was taken to the hospital, and every test was done. It was found there's no sickness. Try spiritual approach. So there's a pastor who prayed for me. And then after that, I went to meet the aunt. And the aunt asked me, do you want to give your life to Christ? And I remember very well that was in November 2010. 14th of November. I still remember the date. So I told her, yes, I want to. And she told me one thing. I want you to be open with me, because the Lord has shown me everything. You know, when someone tells you the Lord has shown me everything, so you tell everything. That so I was like, oh, even masturbating, I don't know what happens. It's the devil. So I told her what I'm doing.
Opened up.
Yeah, I opened up, and she told me, you're getting born again, but it is not something that will go in a day. It is something that it's a process you'll have to walk through, and I'm ready to walk with you. So she led me to Christ. 14th of November 2010 at exactly 5 p.m. That's when I gave my life to Christ, and I began a journey. And in high school, by then, people were like, oh, dude, you're approaching to do your national exam. So
that is why.
Yes.
They must have even given you time.
Yeah, like it's just a week. So weeks grew into months, months grew into years, and now it's more than 12 years, still going strong. Yeah. So, but the biggest struggle was I'm born again, but I'm finding myself falling every time. You keep on sliding, keep on coming back, you keep on going. So, and I would hide myself. I didn't want anyone to know. But this aunt kept on calling me. Yeah, she kept on telling me, my pastor, I know you're struggling, but keep going. It's so funny that the day I masturbated, she called me. So I was like, what's wrong with this woman? The day I slept with a woman, it's the day she calls me. I'm like, what's wrong with this woman?
The Holy Spirit is
So one day I was walking with my mom, and then I don't know that woman. I've never met that woman again. She comes and smiles at us and asks my mom, who is this to you? And mom tells her, this is my son. She tells her, this is a preacher. In fact, a very powerful preacher, an international preacher. My mom laughs. Now, the funny thing about my mom, it took my mom 6 months to believe that I was born again. So you can now figure out how.
She knew how naughty her son was.
So, but I want to thank God that today my mom sees who I am, and my mom respects who I am. Yeah. So even with the message I'm trying to pass to that young person out there is that, and not even young person alone, anyone out there, is that being born again today doesn't mean that everything will flow today. It is the journey that you walk and the people that you walk with. Those are the people who will help you. Yeah.
So you are born again, you're walking.
That is still here.
Yeah, you need to be drinking whenever I am speaking, because you speak most.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're walking this journey. You have done a media course?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I've done a degree in media. I'm also now doing my theology. I've done my diploma in theology. I'm now doing my degree in theology.
Okay. Yeah. So when is your turning point from these habits that have taken? Did you drink?
Yes, I did alcohol. I drink tea. I drank milk. I drank juice.
This guy has started. I am asking about anything that intoxicates your mind.
Yes. Funny enough, I even sold drugs in Uganda. Busia, Kenya, and Busia, Uganda.
Children. Police, are you?
Ugandan police, please. I am very, very innocent, in fact. Yeah, I did that. But I was so innocent. I didn't know what I was doing, because for me, I did it because there is a push friends were there. They were like, "You're young." Because we used to cross the border like nothing, like I'm going nowhere. Yeah, so I've done that, and yeah, I never regret what I did. I'm happy sharing with this.
It was meant to be. Yeah, you will forgive us. We have issues with the camera. The light is not good enough, but we have to have this story done now and today, because this guy is going back to Kenya and he has to share his story on TRANSITIONAGE, and we are glad to have him. Yes. And so, yes, you have done all this. You're in the middle of all this. You are drinking, you are even selling drugs, and you are into women, you are masturbating. And when do you have a change from all these things?
On the masturbation part, something funny happened. I went to a conference back in Kenya, and I saw this young pastor. He was preaching, and then I went to him and I told him what I was struggling with. And he laughed and he told me, "It's normal. It's not bad. But there's a way I want you to come out from." So that is after actually when I was in my campus, my first year. So he gives me his number and tells me, "Where do you live?" I'm in Nairobi. And he's like, "Oh wow, that's just a month in Nairobi." So this is what we're going to do. I'll give you my number. He asked me, "How many times do you masturbate?" I told him around at least 4 times. So he tells me, "I want you to go and take 5 nails and then make sure you hit them in a wall in your bathroom." Yeah, in your bathroom.
Whenever you do it.
So no, just hit the nails around, and then so every time you do, you masturbate, remove 1. Call me, tell me you did it. Whenever you do it, remove. And because I was determined, I want to stop doing this thing. I followed the instructions, and so the first week I didn't call him. So he called me, told me, "I know you've been doing, but you haven't been calling me." I said, "Yes, that's true." He told me, "From tomorrow, I want you to call me." I'm like, "Wow, okay, I want to come out of this." So the following day when I did it, I removed the first nail. He told me, "Okay, place it somewhere, keep it safe." The second time I did it, I removed. The third I removed. The fourth I removed. The fifth I removed. Like, okay, what is this guy driving on? So I told him I've removed all the nails. He told me the same nails, hit them again in the same holes. So I did it. So he asked me, "How strong are they compared to the first time?" I told him the hole is kinda big. Yeah. So he told me, "Okay. So again, when you do, remove, tell me." So this time I reduced to around 3. I told him. He told me, "Okay. So the whole day you've done 3 years." I told him, "Yes." So he told me, "Now the same 3, put in the same hole again." So when I tried to hit, it was too big for the hole was too big for the nail, and I told him I cannot fit. He told me, "That's how much your penis is suffering. That's how much your penis is suffering. Leave alone even spiritual, let's go physical. That's how much you're suffering." Number 2, when you get to the age that you want to get married, you'll have lost the appetite for women. And in Kenya, we have a radio called Radio Jambo. So women go there to complain. "My husband doesn't satisfy me. My husband this." So you'll be the next victim of Radio Jambo. And I want you to think that God has given you a beautiful woman, but you cannot have sex with a woman. Just by the thought of that, I must stop it. And I'm walking that journey to death. It's almost from 2014 to death. That's almost 9 years.
So you who is out there and you are doing it, we shall use the same format. Go get some nails. And I liked the way he communicated this message to you.
Yeah.
And it really, really was able to make an impact in your life. Wow. Wow.
And something else he told me, he took me to Genesis chapter 38, the story of the son of Judah, the one that God gave an opportunity to bear children with the wife of his brother. And whenever it got the time he was supposed to release in the woman, he pulled out and he was killed. So the guy asked me, how many times have you released outside? How many seeds have you poured outside? Imagine every time you dropped out, you were to die. Would you be alive today? I was like, I don't want to die now. I don't want
a bright future ahead of me.
Yeah, so that is number one. For women, it was a struggle, and I want to be very honest. Any pastor who will judge out there, it's okay. But I want to be very honest. For women, I had to make up my mind. And I'm not saying that I don't see beautiful women out there. You see beautiful women out there, and your eyes are like,
and the body communicates.
And the body tells you, bro, what is happening? Are you not a man enough? You know? But because I've walked a journey with people, I have people that I will call and tell them, you know what, this is how I feel. You know, feelings are not things that will go and the pastors lay hands on us and they'll tell us, from today you'll not feel like you want. No.
Not when you're human.
You're human. Actually, it's so funny that after you've ministered with him, now you feel the urge. You know? But I have people that I will call and tell them, you know what, bro, this is what I'm feeling. And they'll be like, yeah, it's not my part. Have self-control. Or at times I'll have to distract myself. I'll have to call friends, we'll have to talk, we'll have to walk, we'll have to distract myself. That doesn't mean that I don't feel, I feel. So, let's not put it like, you have to be holy, you know, you know, let's be real, these things are there, but can you ask God for self-control? Let's not behave like we live in heaven and come and check people's sin. I know some pastors will criticize me, but that's the fact. That's the truth. So, even Paul asks, because there is grace, should we continue sinning? You know, so let's ask God to help us, give us self-control. And what I do is I try my best not to meet a woman in a private place, in a closed place. Bro, whatever is in your body is not anointing oil. You might be a Basican, you might be the most powerful worshiper, you give every chord, you hit every note. But when it comes to these things, please meet that sister where everyone is singing. Because it begins with, I'm coming to the Bible. And you know when they start caressing you, my friend, it will begin with this.
You don't know how.
I cursed you. I cursed you. The last cast you out is in her lips. So be real.
I know.
Don't pretend to be strong. So I always, because the Bible says, resist the devil and he'll flee. And the devil has used sex. It's all over, in our music, in our advertisements. The other day I was traveling. When I was coming, I saw someone advertising just drinking water, but she's half naked. I'm like,
you know, that is what is happening.
What's wrong with these people? So, for women, I've tried my best so much that I don't allow myself to be in a private place with them. I don't make any jokes with them. You can, there are jokes you'll make and you'll be calling for it. Yeah.
Oh, you see why I had to hijack him. Yeah, I think we are taking notes and we are learning a lot from his story. So now you are seeing someone. You tell us about
Yes.
the plans for that permanent,
Yes, I'm seeing you're here. The camera guy is there. I'm seeing people.
Don't play around with that. Don't play. He did media. You see, interviewing media people. Yeah. So tell us.
Yeah.
Relationships and all that.
Relationships. Yeah, I have lots of relationships. I have pastoral relationships. Our host here, we have our relationship.
We don't have any.
Anyway, on a serious note, yeah. I have this beautiful lady, and I love her, and she respects me. Wow. I'm saying that because the Bible says women be submissive and respect. The problem with our generation is that women men want to be loved by women. The church did not first of all love Christ. Christ loved us. So men, love your wives. So I love her. I love her.
Doing the duty, and then she too is submitting.
Yes, and respect.
To submit someone who loves you.
Yeah. So yeah, she's there. We've already done all the shopping for the wedding day. Yeah, so the wedding day will be on a Saturday before 2030.
Wow. That's very bad. I thought you were going to say before 2 months from now or 2 weeks from now.
Just know that the wedding will be on a Saturday.
I know, you wed people on Saturdays.
Because it's a Kenyan culture. We do our weddings on Saturdays.
So yes, this is for sure. It will be a Saturday.
On a Saturday. But anyway, we are there, and she's been so instrumental in my life. She has made me grow. She has challenged me. I've challenged her. She's a minister too. Yeah, so, but she loves children. She's much into children ministry.
Is it supposed to come as a but? But
she loves children.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. And yeah, every time I see it, I just fantasize my future with this beautiful lady.
Wow. The reality is soon.
Don't tell me the truth, just let me fantasize.
You are not ready for the truth.
No, let me find the truth there. Yeah.
Okay, that is wonderful. That's great. So, at what point do you now become a minister and grow to this level of being a reverend?
In 2014, I met a man. I was so confused. Yes, as I said, I was born again, but I was still working in clubs as an MC and struggling with everything. But I met this man who believed in me, Bishop Alangelo, commonly known as Pastor Rhymes in Kenya. So,
Pastor
Rhymes, yeah.
I've known that.
He's a Rhymes.
Yeah. I'm coming after here, you tell me, Pastor Rhymes, how do you become Rhymes?
Yeah, so he's a musician. You didn't know that?
I think I know that. Rhymes. Okay, that's how it comes.
Yeah, so this guy believed in me with all my confusion, with all my struggles, with everything in me. He believed in me. And in 2015, he comes and tells me, I had actually graduated from media school, so I was this hot journalist, So he comes and tells me, God wants me to take you to a Bible school. And I'm like, okay.
I want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, actually, this is what I told him. Everything that God has ever told you about me is true, but this one is not. I don't see myself being a pastor. But he had a way that he pulled me into ministry. So he kept on doing school missions. So he would be like, hey, John, where are you? I'm like, I'm in the house. Okay, gather young men and go to this school. I'm coming. So when we get there, so I'm the team leader and we've entertained the students. We've done everything. The guy is not coming.
He leaves you to
so,
the ministry.
So I have to pick a sermon. I remember one of the sermon he has preached, and I preach it. And immediately say, and may God bless you. He comes in like nothing has happened.
Good strategy.
So he kept on pushing me to that level. Fathers have a way of convincing us. So when I said no and went silent, but he said, okay, I'll not push you. In 2017, I asked him, so you said about Bible school? Yeah, I'm ready. And that's when I got into theology school. I've grown under him until 2018 when he was transferred to another place to serve. And by then I was doing my associate diploma, and by the grace of God, I became the assistant pastor of the church in Mana. And I've been growing, and in 2022, I became a chaplain with the prisons in Kenya.
Just recently.
Yeah, so because as a chaplain, there are the ordinances that I have to do. I have, maybe if a prisoner or an officer dies, I'm the one to do the burial service. If they want to do a wedding, and it's me to officiate. So, and I also have to dedicate their children. I have to do a lot of things. So, God felt it was time for me to be ordained. So I was actually ordained on 16th July 2022 as the Reverend. So that has been my growth, and I'm still working as a chaplain in the prisons department.
Wow, that's a great journey. I don't know whether you people have learned something in his story, but I've learned a lot, and it is really, first of all, I learn and understand that there is a difference between being born again and being delivered. See, his deliverance was a journey that he had to walk, changing from one habit to another. And then also he had mentors around him. So you too can choose to have the right people around you whom you can share your burdens and struggles with. And yes, his story, I think, is really, really inspiring. And he's a great guy. He's a gifted guy. He is anointed, and that is why we are pulling him to Uganda to minister with us. We are here for a mission with CTM, and they have really done us good. So first of all, some people you would like to appreciate and acknowledge before you say something to the youth out there that you feel you have not expounded in your story?
First of all, I want to appreciate God for just His grace to serve, because there's so many good people out there, but He chose this cheeky, naughty, stubborn, all those things. He chose to use me, so I appreciate. It's not that I'm good, but it's just a privilege to serve. Two, I want to appreciate my parents for always being there. And I want to appreciate my guided spirit, Bishop Allen. Like, that guy has been instrumental. Even to death, I'll call and share with him what I'm going through. I'll call and share with him my struggles at times. And he'll always encourage me. I want to appreciate Efamana Church for giving me an opportunity to serve. And everyone, and especially my brother, and also son in spirit, Drew. Man, I appreciate you, because we'll always...
My daughter has a name for him, but I'm not going to mention that name.
So I appreciate you. And
great guy. Yes.
I want to appreciate Reverend Arthur Magezi for just believing in us. It's so hard for such an anointed man to believe in young men, especially in this generation. Like, he has given us all the mandate. God, do it. Don't worry. You do it. I'm not even there. I've not seen him. Some bishops and pastors will be policing you. What are you talking? What are you saying? But this man has given us all the mandate. Like, do it. I'm not there. He receives reports from members who have been in the conference. So I want to really appreciate you, and I want to appreciate so much Naomi for calling me here. Yeah, I'm on TV. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, I think those are the people I can appreciate.
Wow, thank you so much. We are coming to the close of our interview. I would like to hear the last words, his last words to you out there.
My last word is every battle is won from the mind, and every battle is lost from the mind. So I wake up and tell myself, gee, you know what? You're the best. You're the best. Every day I have to tell myself that. I do not shout it, but I wake up and say, you know what? You're the best. And I fix my mind that I'm the best in what I do. And that's why I can bring the impact that I bring out there. Because first of all, I've believed, in me. And God has stamped it. Because words are powerful. So when you wake up and you say, I cannot do it, you will not do it. But if you wake up and you say, yeah, I'm the best, I'm going for it, I'll make it. Done. So every day when you speak good things for you. So lastly, I remember this. Every battle is won in the mind, and every battle is lost in the mind. Yeah.
That is great. It is deep. It is deep. It is great. So thank you so much, Pastor G, for allowing to be hosted on TRANSITIONAGE show. And we are for sure this is not the last time he's here. We are going to call him to come and teach us, speak to us, spiritual matters, life matters, and everything that God will have laid in his heart. They are doing a great job with Joseph and with Drew, and we've been with Sam and with Robert, Pastor Robert. They have done us good in the youth ministry before. This is our second mission with them, and it has been really good. So thank you so much. Please continue to watch these stories, share them, like them, comment. It helps us to keep having these stories in place. Lord, we want to thank God for making it possible, and it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap. On camera, it is Ronnie Mutebi, as usual. He worked with a teenager who was hearing first-hand information. Jerry, who is aspiring to be a good producer, and me, Naomi, for TRANSITIONAGE show. It's a wrap. Goodbye.